Okay, so suppose that you have been brainwashed or convinced that everything. There's somehow there's nobody, no being that created you, and you were created by chance. Something called whatever they call it. Okay, and you say to yourself, well, I'm looking around, I don't see. I want you to think about a really classy person. Now, a classy person is someone who, let's say, for instance, helps the poor and helps people who are in need and helps people who are, needing help. But they manage to do it in a way that does not attract attention to themselves. You know, you don't even know. I remember in the Quran there was a story about Abu Bakr, I think it was. He had a lot of money and he used to help quite a few people, but nobody actually knew it while he was alive because he was so discreet that he would help people out in such a way that nobody actually realized how many people he was helping out and to what extent. Well, that's class, isn't it? The man had some class. Now, I want you to think about the Almighty as having far more class than you could ever imagine. So, you can look around you, and if you have common sense, you can see every day that the atmosphere and the way things are and how you operate is all something that kind of basically is viable. It pleases you. You like it. Wow, look at this, how this works so well. Uh-huh. Why don't you give credit to something you're not really sure, some mental thing, the idea that you have, where it all comes from, well, then you're making an assumption. And making assumptions can be very, very, very dangerous. You know, it can lead to you wasting a lot of time. When for instance, you can waste your life here pursuing some sort of, comfortable, whatever life that you think is cool, and not really learning that much and not really growing that much, or just pursuing what you think life is all about. Oh, it turns out that wasn't what it was about. And what are you going to do then? So the Almighty knows your situation. He knows how difficult it is. In these times, people get all carried away with the material world, technology, whatever, and they just don't have time. Or they don't think they have time. You know, so they don't discharge their duties toward the one that created them. They discharge their duties toward their self or themselves. But those cells and all those kind of things that you have to use here, a lot of that just goes when you die. It's just part of your physical or your apparatus that you have to negotiate. To navigate this world. So the Almighty has given man a recent gift. It's a direct connection. No meditating, no this and that required with the Almighty. And so generally passed from one person to the next, using that person as a channel. They don't do anything. They just allow that channel to work. And it's interesting that none of you, so far, no, not even one of you has been interested or felt anything. I don't know what this story is really. About exploring that gift, see if it's real, or find out maybe it might be something to it. Do some research on it. I remember when I was young, I felt kind of lost. People said I was a pretty smart boy. And that went to my head, unfortunately. Because as Subu said, if you're smart, you don't need to think about how smart you are. You just use what smarts you have for good things. If you're intelligent, help those that are less intelligent. Use your intelligence to, suppose, make something or create something wonderful or good, useful to people, and so forth and so on. This contact is very real, wonderful, in the end, quite something, and really has given me everything that I ever wanted. I mean, when I was younger, I was always searching for something, and it never quite added up. These mystics from the East and all the things they could do, you never quite get there. It it just didn't add up. And I was having trouble with Christianity and religion in general because I couldn't see the conflict. I mean, the whole thing. I was a material type person. I mean, I didn't think of myself as a material person, but people, you're going to have money to do this and that. And I was like, that was a big preoccupation, or a big part of things. As much as I had to survive, having to take care of the physical requirements here, body, food, all the things, hot, cold, shelter, blah blah blah. Way, in a car, ways to get around and stuff. So yeah, the gift is here. Anyway, so I searched around, I couldn't find it, and I ran across it by word of mouth, and that's how this particular gift, you have to understand, it's not advertised. Because the one who was kind of like the guy who, was the agent for the Almighty, and was sometimes called messenger of God. But he never made any claims. Just an ordinary human being. That's all he would ever talk about, say, when he talked about himself. But he wasn't very ordinary. But anyway, he came to bring us the gift. He didn't come to teach us. He viewed teaching as actually an error, and because his understanding was that God teaches you. God is your best teacher. Deep down, I mean, that's what we realize, isn't it? We learn somehow. Series of things happen. We don't even know what we're learning. And oh my God! Oh, I didn't realize. So now you realize. So now you learn something. Anyway, so this is done by word of mouth. I got very lucky. Almighty. So sure enough, wondrous things happen. I mean, they were very ordinary things. I'd run into somebody, talk to me about certain things, and eventually somebody came around I hardly knew and started telling me about a group of people who were meeting in a little dance studio. And he said they were getting high without taking any drugs. They didn't say they were meditating or they were doing mantras or that they were doing yoga or, any number of things. He said they were just, I don't know, he didn't know how, but they were doing something, or they did half an hour twice a week, and then they were getting high from it, he said. Although I'm not sure they would have viewed it that way. But, so, I like to, I wanted to get high, and as those of you who have studied the hippie generation are aware, people took drugs not for the pleasure of it. They were seeking, they were looking for some higher consciousness, some answers, something that would bring them to the truth, the reality of the real reality of everything. And I was too. I didn't take a lot of drugs. Just didn't. I was afraid of acid for good cause, I think. I took it a couple of times. And yeah, when I took the acid, there it was. I was in this world. It was a nice trip around the country with a bunch of people who had experience taking acid. We sat around, and we all felt like, you felt one. You felt at one with those people. It was, wow, it was like so strong. And then as the thing wore off, but you had to have kind of people there, something would come up and you start getting afraid. I started getting afraid. Fear and loss of it. Maybe not extraordinary amount, but a normal amount of fear. Didn't know how to handle it or anything much. So they would say, no, that's just a little, calm me down. Anyway, when the thing started to wear off, people started to separate out. They started to go off and separate off into little groups talking to each other. This one over here, blah, blah, blah. You didn't feel it wrong with them anymore. It's almost like they became thieves or they've gone off into some other world. And I remember I was with my girlfriend Susan Kennedy. And these kids, the guy was an author, so he had a cabin. Was it in Sausalito or somewhere, up that way, I think. I was going to the University of California, Berkeley. And they had a baby. And we weren't quite off the drug yet. And the baby was in a crib. It was kind of up. It was up. It wasn't on the floor. I think it was up on something. And he was holding on to the baby crib bars, I think, as I recall. Anyway, he was looking at us. And I looked into his eyes. Oh my God. Oh my God. It was like the child, the eyes, they knew stuff. You could grope it, you could sense it. How did they know anything? How could you tell? You can't use your mind with these things. But, you know things, you see things, you see people, you sense something about them right away. Or you'd be hard-pressed, possibly, or maybe not, but mostly, it's not a mental thing, it's a sense that you have. So, basically, I don't want to give anything away, but, the thing about the gift that God has given man for this time, because I've heard, that there's already, this is the 5th generation of man, and the 4th generation, and they got this expansion of the mind, which comes along at a certain point. In our generation, it came along, and it was known to happen, it was going to happen, in around the 50s. And suddenly, as, of course, people have lots of reasons, but it means suddenly people started, their minds started, oh my God, and they started thinking, figuring, calculating, making all kinds of incredible things, engineering things. Well, that happened before, I've heard. Pretty good source, I would say. But anyway, I've heard that what they ended up doing to each other was so bad that they had to be utterly destroyed, and that there is no trace of them on the earth except in the highest level of the Akashic record, which only prophets and that kind of person, really, people who've gone a long way or advanced, whatever you want to call it, can access it. I can't access it. But I have been kind of restored to by the Almighty over time. It takes time, a lot of mess in that system. Mind's in the wrong place. A lot of times your mind's in your consciousness. I mean, it's like right there, it's running things. It's running your life. It says it's the boss. For example, if I was my mind. So, according to what I've understood, as time goes by, blah blah blah, it's a mental process I'd be talking to. I'm not obsessed by my mind. That's because the Almighty, at one point, after many, many years of being open and receiving this gift, one day, my mind, which was like right there in my consciousness, went where it belongs. So now it's more like a computer under the table. I have the mouse. When I need to use it, it comes up. For instance, if I want to know, I want to think about, let's say when I'm going to bed. It's 3 now, 3:27 in the morning. When am I going to go to bed? Well, here comes my mind. Well, blah 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 blah. Better get to bed pretty soon. Got things to do in the morning. Blah blah blah. That's it. So that's the advice. I can take it or not take it. That's information. So that I don't forget. Where am I? I don't even remember what day it was. Subi once said that if your mind actually stopped working completely, you wouldn't recognize. You wouldn't know where you were. So mind is a function. Yeah. So maybe I can talk a little bit about what is the common sense? What is the reason how the gift works? Because how it works is pretty neat, I think. How it works is you just stand there and you don't do anything. You just relax and you wait. You wait until you're moved. As it turns out, the only thing that can actually move you when you're not doing something, if you're active in yourself, you can have passion, you can do all kinds of things. Hey, let's go over here. Oh, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. You can do all kinds of things. But if you're not doing anything, of course your mind will probably say, but it might work, but you're just standing there waiting for something. What? Waiting to be moved. And then, so where does that movement come from? Well, it comes from the power of God, because as it turns out, the only thing that has authority over you is the one that created you, if you're not doing things. And he has authority there too, but he doesn't know. I couldn't do. All of a sudden, I just stopped. I couldn't do anything. Why is that? But generally, that's how it works. So then that leaves, if you wait to move, then you follow these movements. what would that be like? Well, let's see. Well, you know, blah, 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 blah. And the content of those movements, it says I'm making a video, the little thing I'm making a video. That's the reality, isn't it? That's what I'm doing. So, but it moves, it expresses, it pushes out, it moves things away from the impurities, things that are blocking your flow, your system, your inner feelings, your inner realities. So, it works. God works. He knows just what to do with you. And the thing is, here's the thing. God knows what you need and you don't. For instance, I might say, well, maybe I need to worship, or maybe I need to go to bed, okay, so what does I need to do? You need to work on this video. You need to talk. And that's what I'm doing, isn't it? Did I come to that conclusion earlier? That's why I'm making a video? No, I just felt like making a video. And now So, if you really use your common sense, you think about it. Let God just, unimpeded work on you for half an hour, a couple times a week. That's plenty. That's enough. Otherwise you get worn out, burned out. Because you have your life here, you're set up to have your life here, so you can't just go and, do some kind of thing, force yourself. You don't want to use force. God doesn't. God is the one who can force it. Man shouldn't use force. God must say kind of force. It's not like that. God uses force. Sometimes it is. So if you allow that to happen, gradually, the Almighty, as they say, if you pay attention to the Almighty will pay attention to you. So if you do that, then over time, physical body gets purified and it becomes alive again. It has its own life. Every organ in your body has its own life. Real life. Knows what to feel things, knows what to do. If your feet are purified, they won't lead you into danger and stuff. So, for instance, every time I get on a plane, which is very, very rarely these days, so whole thing is like, oh my God, who wants to get on a plane? Before I go in, I just kind of relax, see if my feet will take me on the plane. If my feet take me on the plane, then I know I'm safe. If they don't, I don't. No, sir. On that plane. That would be nice to have something like that, wouldn't it? You didn't even have to worry about when you went on the plane. There's all kind of nice things that come from being alive, having things in their rightful place. Your heart doesn't take you over, your passions take you over, or your bad character. And that's what's happening today with man. Man has bad character. It's really strong. And even people that have a good character struggle. But the gift kind of guides you, brings you, the power of God kind of directs you more, brings you to your best, your good character. So it's not like, you have a mental concept of becoming some good person. I will be good. I will help these people do this thing. No, it's not like that. It's like Well, give them a hand, I mean, aren't you part of the creation? I mean, are you pretty much like they are? I mean, isn't life difficult at times? Very quite difficult. Other times, pretty nice. So, you see people, I don't know, I'm not going to go there, that's another subject. Anyway, so that's how the gift, the reason, common sense behind the gift. The one who created you knows what you need and can give it to you, can purify you, can bring you back to being the original, true human being. It's a very nice place to be. I don't make claims that I'm there. I'm partially restored, so I can feel the basic thing of it. I don't know. In that condition, I view people are important creatures, and they need to be treated well because life is hard, and people do suffer. So when you can, you want to treat them well, be good to them, be supportive, help them out. If you have gifts, you want to be able to use your gifts in a way that is useful actually in reality, so that if you're strong, you want to help people that are weaker. If you're intelligent, you want to help people that are less intelligent. If you're wealthy, you want to help people who have not fared so well, and so on and so forth. And you kind of come around to that. That's how you feel. It's good. It makes sense and it works well. It makes you feel good. And you're actually part of a healthy, community. That's where they help each other. Money is not real. It's a thing that man heard it came out of his heart. And it's an odd thing when if you reflect on it, that of all the things that the Almighty gave us on the earth, He didn't have a tree that grows money on it, did He? Exactly. The things that have value, stuff and so forth. But it's a value that man conceives of. For a human being, the value of gold is nothing almost, unless you're making something and you want to make it needs a certain characteristic. Well, then it has value. But just of itself, it's a material object, a rock. And he gets deluded. He thinks, "Oh, gold is so important." No, it isn't. It's important as your children. It's important as your relationship with the one who created you. And it's way more important than you realize, most likely. Because when you're having a good relationship with the Almighty, because the Almighty's in a good state. Way, way, way cleaner and free of all the kinds of things that you're in. So when you have a good relationship with the Almighty, every now and then, you get to kind of come up there and be with the Almighty. Be in that kind of a place where you feel some of that good state. It's so good. So not having anything to do with this world. I mean, it's not influenced by this world. Whatever happens here, the Almighty is not influenced by it. Thank God. So you get to go and do that. So this is important. It also brings you back to kind of understanding that this place is a place that the Almighty sent you learn things. As a trial, as a test, what can you do, you know? You've got all these abilities and things. Can you know, can you find your way under pressure here? Can you come through? Can you do it? And it's something about the gift. Don't endlessly about the gift, but that's something about it. And it's had a kind of astounding success in some ways, in other ways not so much. I don't know for sure why that is, why it's not more. I mean, if a third of mankind was opened, had this connection, and was doing this exercise, what would happen to the world? Let's just see. Oops, wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I did that, the computer went off the screen, so what would happen with the world? It would go toward the light. I'm not doing it now, I'm seeing what my hand shows. Yeah, off to God. Everybody would be so much happier, really. There's a saying that no matter how much a person, how happy they may be, the person that worships God is happier. And there's truth to that. Anywho, I think that's about enough for now. Gosh, I've been talking over half an hour. I have no idea why nobody listens to this stuff and nobody pays any attention to it. Well, I was happy enough because when I first got the contact, I was very, I'm not going to fool me with anything. I want proof. I want the real thing. Something's either going to happen to me inwardly, or however you want to call it. Something's going to move me, or something's going to happen, or not. And if it doesn't, I'm not going to make anything up. I'm a young, truthful kid, like most kids are. That's the truth. After I got open, I went about 5, 6, 7. I think it was about the 7th time. So much was happening. People around me were carrying on, running, walking, singing, weeping, screaming, whatever they were doing. Nothing much was really happening to me. Like I was sitting on the floor, this little dance studio, and my head started to move, back and forth. I'm like, well, I noticed, like, wait a minute. So I just kind of relaxed, let go, and sure enough, my head was actually moving on its own. Move, back and forth. And then when I would start thinking about it, something or other, kind of go like, okay, and then it would stop. If I didn't let go, it would stop. And if I let go, it would keep doing it. And as I recall, there was a feeling, it was a pleasant feeling. It wasn't scary. It wasn't like it shouldn't be there. It seemed perfectly natural. It seemed perfectly okay. Because, of course, people are full of doubts and are afraid. They've been scared half to death, and just by one thing and another in this life, so they wonder. But I can tell you that when you have that contact and you finally, you might have it right away, some people do, feel the inner movement. In other words, something is moving, something feels nice, loving, nice. It's a feeling that you've never felt up until that point. It's never happened. But when it does happen, you'll be happy enough. Yeah, it's endurance. I mean, it's kind of it's fun. So bad character. I don't know. All right, okay, that's enough. That's enough.